Okay, hello. My name is Luke Dretsky. This is my multimodal project for English 151. This is the game of life or death. Um, so I'm going to just kind of walk through the board and like the game, and then as you can see, I have like my cards and things laid out over here. So I'll just kind of quickly walk through, kind of like the path to show you like all the cards and all the different aspects of the game, some of the changes I've made to the board, etc. So if you're familiar with the game of life, this really makes it a lot easier to understand. So to start, we have our career path and our environmentally friendly career path as I added in over here instead of the college path because college didn't necessarily align. And so if you're coming around the environmentally career path with my little yellow car here, the first stop that I would get to, and once again, I'm not going to explain all of these stop signs like extremely well and stuff because I do in my cover letter, but this first one would be, okay, get a job. And so because you went on the environmentally friendly career one, you would select your careers. So if you went on the normal career path, you would select normal career cards. If you went on the environmentally friendly career path, you'd select from the environmentally career cards. And you can see once again, I only colored or used ink on like one or two cards just to kind of, once again, be environmentally friendly, didn't want to waste ink, didn't want to waste a ton of paper. So I just made a couple good examples of each. So normal career cards, once again, these aren't necessarily hurting the environment, but they're not necessarily helping. So we'd have like doctor, corporate lawyer, and I put little icons on each of these with their salaries, stockbroker, professor, salesperson. And once again, these are making generally more money. And then these ones over here, you'd be making less money. So environmental lawyer, once again, your salary is going to be less money, but you also get a green card every time. And I'll explain that kind of later. Renewable energy engineer, once again, making less money with all of these, but you're getting those green cards. Climatologist, environmental scientist, agricultural scientist. So those are the career cards. So I'm going to go ahead and just place these over here for now. So then you'd be moving along. Once again, you're passing the payday. There's still like vacation in mission places and spin to win spots. But those kind of play a different concept. I'll get to those later. So I changed the marriage stop to a house stop. Similarly, because there's a vacation stop up here. So this is just your opportunity just to buy a house because you can go the whole game without landing on a house spot. So this is your chance to buy a house. And similarly, kind of see a theme going on here. We have normal house cards and we have environmentally friendly house cards. So normal house cards, once again, they cost more money. I included little pictures here with these. So luxury mansion, and you get a red card. And red cards are because you're not being environmentally friendly. Once again, it would take a lot of energy and a lot of power, and it's just kind of wasteful to have like a luxury mansion, a glass house. Once again, just a ton of energy consumption, and that card was just for show. So those are two good examples there. And then for the environmentally friendly house cards, you can see a little bit of a different icon. Cabin in the woods, once again, it's for way less money, but you get that green card. And then we have a solar powered house and a roof garden house. And once again, all those with little pictures and icons on there. So those are those cards. So then you'd keep moving around. And then here's another new stop. So we have new job or life path. So you can go and you can pay money to get a new job, try to go for an environmentally friendly job, hopefully, or you can just continue down the path of life. So we'll just keep moving. Here's just a plain green spot, an environmental action green spot that I'll kind of talk about later when we get to the end. So you keep coming around till we get a new stop. So this one is mission path or life path. So similarly, you can just keep going down the path of life, or you can go on this mission path. And so this would be like a mission, not necessarily like there's like church missions and things like that often, but this is more of an environmental mission. So instead of going on a vacation, you could go on a mission to help the environment. And so I'll kind of show you these spots now. So here's a red spot and here's a green spot. And you can see they kind of alternate, and these are like riskier spots. And so these are environmental action spots. So you'll see my environmental action cards here. And so what this is if you go on this mission path, or if you land on one of these spots, it's basically saying that you're at least attempting. you're doing some kind of big action to try to help the environment. And the green or the red just means if you're successful or not. Once again, I explained this more in depth in my cover letter, but if you were to land on a red, here's an example. Fail in your efforts to stop deforestation in the Amazon. You pay $50,000, but you still collect a green card because you're still trying to help the environment. You still went on that mission path. You just failed, unfortunately, but that's okay. There's a campaign to make all new cars electric. There's a proposition to increase plant-based protein in grocery stores. And then here would be you tried and you were successful. So you don't have to pay money and you collect 2 green cards. You're successful in your efforts to create plastic-eating organisms. You run a successful campaign that led to the enactment of the Green New Deal and successfully created a machine that creates oxygen from CO2 in the atmosphere. So once again, those environmental action cards are pretty cool. So then you'd be moving along, and once again, this replaced like the family. These were all like baby spots. And then at the end of this, you would just, because you went on the mission, you get a spin for extra green cards. So still moving along here, more of these environmental action spaces where there were baby spaces. Here would be a vacation stop. So I will show you my vacation and mission cards. So I split this into, once again, as usual, good and kind of bad cards. So vacation cards aren't necessarily a bad thing. You're not gonna get like punished for doing this, but you're just not going to be rewarded because you're not doing anything to help the environment. So we have like see the Eiffel Tower. These are your typical vacations. Visit the Great Wall of China. Once again, with all these pictures, that looks kind of cool. Go on an island getaway in the Caribbean, and then these ones were just extra cards. And then for the mission cards, once again, it's an environmental mission that you're going on. So these ones are pretty cool. Go to Colorado to help fight these wildfires. So you're paying money, but you're collecting these 2 green cards for doing these good things. Help develop renewable energy in Zimbabwe. Clean up the ocean off the California coast. It's disgusting. And then a couple just extra cards. So those would be the vacation and mission aspects of it. So then keep moving around. And then here's a really fun spot that I like. Here's the risky road and safe route. So on the original board, this was the risky road over here, and this was the safe route. Because as you can see, once again, this original safe route would be you're not really doing anything, you're just going down the path of life. Whereas the risky road is you could lose a lot of money and you could be really successful, or you could be a failure, unfortunately. But I switched this in the concept of my game. So the safe route is over here, and this is the risky road. And I explained this a little bit more in my paper, but this is more actually representing how humans live. So it's risky for us just to keep going down the path we live and do nothing to help the environment. And then it's safe to at least try. Not necessarily safe as in you might be losing money and things like that, but it's safe for the world because you're at least trying to help combat climate change. So I thought that was pretty cool. Moving on from there, you just keep moving around towards retirement. And so this was, we'll come around here. This was millionaire mansion and then some kind of like cabin, but I wanted to make it environmentally friendly or not. So once again, millionaire mansion is not the environmentally friendly option. And you get money for retiring there, and at the clean energy condo, as you can see that I added in, you get green cards for coming here. And so as you can see, it's just, I printed this picture out of this house with some solar panels on it, and then I cut out a Tesla and put it out front. So you can retire at either of those places. A couple other things that I didn't show. So if you land on any of these normal spaces, like these just plain yellow spaces, it's an action card. And so this is the only part of the game where you don't really have a choice. You can't pick if you want to do an environmentally friendly action or not, unfortunately. But here are my action cards. So we have 2 different designs on them, but they all kind of do the same thing. And so half of these are good, and you get green cards, and you're helping the environment, and half of them are bad, and it's just kind of random. So you have invest in solar panels to help power your home. Purchase a new Hummer SUV, and once again, you either get green cards or red cards. Sometimes you're paying money, sometimes you're collecting. Begin a fully plant-based diet. Purchase stock in an oil company. Boo. Attend a protest fighting deforestation. Good job. Support a political candidate who denies climate change. That one kind of hits close to home. Print paper copies of documents instead of sharing them online. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have this printed right now, but I do not have the technological capacity to make this game online. Start recycling at your home. Buy stock in the meat industry, and buy an electric Tesla car. Woo! So, Those are the action cards that you would just draw randomly throughout the game as you land around. And then here are my green and red cards. So these are the cards that you get for doing good things and bad things. So the green cards, right, it's either a tree or the earth. And once again, I just printed out a couple of these with color. And then the red cards are money or like a factory. So those are the main aspects of my game. As you can see, I made not a ton of changes to the board because I didn't want it to be messy, but I did change a decent amount here to help it fit better with my game. The last thing that I wanted to show was my rules guide. So I scanned the original rules. Here we go. So I scanned the original rules guide for the front of it. Word didn't really want to work with me and let me make it full size and stuff like that, but you can see I added like the or death on there, the game of life or death. And then when you open this up, so I created all this on Microsoft Word, and it's not perfectly symmetrical because of course it never is, unfortunately, but I kind of did this color and I made all these rules for my games. So I'm just going to scan over there. If you want to pause it and read it all, you can. I think I made it look pretty nice here. And so we have how to play, how to win, end of it. Count up your money, whoever has the most wins. Congratulations, you did the most to help save our planet and humans. Then explaining the spaces, some more explaining spaces, explaining the stop spaces. Once again, of course, it's not symmetrical. That kind of drives me crazy. And then at the very back of it would be, thank you for your efforts in fighting climate change. You have done your planet and your people a great deed. The game of life or death. So that is my rules guide. And that was suggested in the peer feedback, and that was really helpful. So that is my game with all of my cards in the board. Thank you very much for listening in.